On this episode of Internet Business Mastery, we talk about how to choose what to sell online. And in the quick tip, we have a great resource for giving back.
Welcome to InternetBusinessMastery.com, where you will learn to take control, make more money, and start an internet business today. Here are your hosts, Sterling and Jay.
Hey everyone, I'm Sterling.
And I'm Jay. And thanks for joining us in this quest to achieve more freedom and happiness by creating a profitable and passion-based internet business. To learn how to start your own passion-based internet business, go now to freevideogift.com. So, Sterling, what's going on lately?
Well, actually, I figure I've become a stat geek. I never would have guessed it. Huh? In fact, 10 years ago, I would have never guessed I was into marketing in any way, but let alone be excited at looking at numbers.
So what, like the latest baseball statistics?
Sure.
Basketball playoffs?
Actually,
like how many assists or,
way better.
That kind of stat?
Something way better. Seeing how much money we're making. No, actually, any of the stats that have to do with the business.
Okay, yeah.
The last few weeks or even month or so, we've been really getting solid with all of our statistics and information and testing and all that kind of stuff for some, big traffic things we're doing. And the great thing about that is it's definitely being able to look at the numbers certainly helps battle that marketing arrogance we talked about a couple of episodes ago. And I just love it. I just love being able to look at the numbers and make decisions based on that rather than just guessing or thinking, oh, well, we're smart enough to figure this out. I love that. And it's interesting because another thing that's happened is there's another aspect of the marketing arrogance is that I don't feel bad if we make a mistake like I used to.
Right.
Because literally it's...
So if we try something out and it doesn't go so well, you're trying, or you're finding that you don't beat yourself up as much about that?
Yeah, because now everything is just testing different things. So if we have a couple of different opt-ins, if one opt-in just doesn't perform as well as the other one, we just move on to the next test rather than going, I liked that one. Whereas before it was like that. Everything was a little bit personal. It's like, why didn't people like that? and now it's just like, okay, well, we missed the mark compared to the other one. Let's keep going. Let's look at the survey again, see what is it we're missing, and let's go for that. And it's just constantly improving rather than dwelling on that. And again, so literally, I'm just, we try something and it works or not, and I'm just taking the emotional part out of it, and I'm just thinking of it like science. Problem, possible solution, test and retest. And keeping the emotion part for the stuff that actually it's more appropriate. Like, since this is our passion, being able to do this show and getting really excited and passionate about that, as opposed to, did that email work that we wrote? It's funny because we took everything so personal till probably really in the last year or so. Even if somebody opted out of our email list, it's like, what? We got to find out. Talk to that person. What did we do wrong? Now again,
come
everything
back. It's you. It's not me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's me. It's not you. I mean.
So anyway, it's just been interesting to see that if something happens, we just look at it now, I think, as just knowledge rather than like a blemish against ourselves or our marketing prowess. I just like that. I feel so much better, and it even gives me like more passion for things because I don't have to feel like there might be a failure in there. It's just, another lesson. Now what can I learn from it and move on and test something else?
Yeah, don't have to expend emotional energy on smaller detail. You can save it for some of the things that really matter. As far as, like we in our strategy meetings, we like to talk about some of the cool breakthroughs we've had in the business and, rejoice in that, or in the success story that somebody sends us by email, or these breakthroughs that we share in the episode and stuff like that, and not have our identity attached to whether or not we chose the right headline for our sales letter or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, good stuff. I like that. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the higher level of tracking stats. And in fact, I recently wrote a blog post all about metrics and stats, and it's actually going to be a little bit of a series. So if you want to know a little bit more about the tracking that we're doing recently and that we're still, ongoing working on, then you can go to the blog. And I believe the title of it is 5 Critical Metrics for Your Internet Business or something like that. And you can check that series out.
And now, the features segment.
So, Sterling, has anybody ever asked you, so what should I sell online? Yeah, I want an internet business, but what do I sell?
Yeah, quite a few times, especially after
That's a
they
pretty
say,
common
what
question.
do you do? Have an internet business. Ooh, what do you sell?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big question for people. They might like this idea of, internet business, it sounds great. And, they hear us talking about how to do it and the exciting outcomes and the increased freedom and fulfillment and passion-based business and these kinds of things. But, then that first question comes to mind of like, well, what's my niche going to be? And then what is my product going to be? Are two big questions. And those are great questions. And they are important questions to answer and to think about early on in your business, which is why very first inside of the academy, we start approaching those questions right off. And in fact, we even speak to them in some of the free materials we give out at places like freevideogift.com and stuff like that as well. But recently there was an email that came up inside of, I think it was one of our coaching courses. It might have been Traffic Attraction Formula, and the person wondering, well, how do I determine what my first product or my next product should be? And, I thought it would be good to approach this question right now, not only because it came in from a coaching student, but also because it kind of ties into the whole marketing arrogance topic a couple episodes ago of not just assuming you know what your market wants. We want people to be able to get past that hang up. It shouldn't hang you up because it's actually quite easy once you know the process of deciding what product to sell. It's quite easy to just to figure it out and to make a good decision. There's no perfect decision or right answer, but you can definitely pick a good answer and give you something to just move forward with, which is the most important thing, is just to move forward. So a couple things, just assumptions to get out of the way here. Of course, what we teach is that you're going to be selling information products. So although this can apply to selling widgets or selling, cameras online or t-shirts online or your knitting sweaters that you create online, well, it can apply to physical products as well. But in general, what we teach is information products. So information that people will find valuable in the form of courses or ebooks or video series or membership site, things like that. And also assuming that these products are digitally delivered. So as far as the format and the type of product, we're just going to go ahead and make those couple assumptions. Also, this is not about, choosing your niche. What should your niche be? We've talked about it out on the show in the past. I'm sure we might talk about it on another show again in the future. It's always a great topic. And there's a very thorough and excellent and simple process that we teach right at the beginning of the academy for how to choose what your niche, your topic, or area of business is going to be for selecting the one that will fulfill you and make a profitable business. So let's get those assumptions aside, but let's say that you know what your niche is going to be. Maybe you're going to choose you're coming up to choosing your first product. Maybe you've already done a product, you're choosing your next product, whatever the case may be there. This is a good process to remind yourself and to know. So in the marketing arrogance thing, we kind of brought up that idea of, the shooting fish in a barrel when it comes to marketing, when it comes to making a product offer, is all about just finding out what your market wants. So knowing who your very specific audience is, going to them saying, what is it you want, discovering that, and then making a solution that meets that want, and then selling it to them. It's not, assuming, this is what they really need. It's entering into the conversation that's already going on in their mind and not trying to just convince them otherwise of something else. So how do we do that? How do we discover what it is that our market actually wants to buy from us? What is it that we can put forward that they're going to go, that's exactly what I've been looking for. I've been really frustrated that, one of the biggest outcomes I've been wanting in my life or my business or whatever is X, and wow, here's the solution that I need. So of course I'm going to buy it. How can you hit that thing dead on in that way? Well, Sterling, let me go ahead and ask you first. What's one of your favorite ways for discovering what a market wants?
All right. Well, there's a lot of really cool ways. Probably my favorite way is simply survey. Ask directly, send them to questions that are asking directly what we want to know. That's,
absolutely.
that is the easiest and coolest way to do it that I know of.
Yeah, survey is something we've done quite often in our business. It's probably something even we could do more. I know we were chatting recently with some new marketing stuff that we're doing that we want to do another survey quite soon. But yeah, that's one of the best ways to get into the minds of your following is to, if you have an email list or following on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, just go to something free like SurveyMonkey, put together a survey with 2 or 3 questions that ask, what's the most important thing you'd like to achieve in the next year? What's your biggest frustration in trying to achieve that? What's the biggest questions that you have? What would it mean to you if you had the solution to that? And then, seeing what people say and definitely having those be open-ended questions, allowing them to type in what their answers are. I mean, we do like sometimes the select, hey, which of these would you prefer? Or would you consider yourself a beginner, intermediate, or experienced? I mean, for those kinds of things, the selections A, B, C. But often we love asking open-ended questions because then we get to listen. We get to listen to exactly the words. We get to listen to the conversation going on in somebody's mind. They're typing it right there for us, to us. We see the want, we read about it, we see the words they use to describe that want, and then we can use that information, we can use those words to decide what the product's going to be, to name the product, to market that product back to them by just parroting, well, here's the want. We see that want and just making it clear in the things that we say in the offer and in the product that we've heard what they've said inside of the survey. So yeah, surveys are a great way, as long as you have some kind of a list. Free survey on surveymonkey.com. Ask 2 or 3, 4 questions. Make sure there's some open-ended questions in there. Send it out and let those answers come in. And really, you only need about 30 responses to get a good idea of what your market wants. If you can get more than that, great. The more information, the better. It just gives you more fodder to work with. But definitely, even just a simple 30 responses can go a long way in informing you about what your market wants. All right. Well, surveys we've mentioned in the past. A lot of people get that but then sometimes people get hung up on the fact it's like, well, I don't have a whole lot of a list yet. I don't know if I can get the 30 answers. I don't know if I have enough people to answer a survey. So what can I do if I don't have a list that I can survey? Well, let me go ahead and share one of my favorites, and that is at that point you can go to something like Twitter. Twitter is this huge online conversation where you can find people in all kinds of audiences, niches, hobbies, interests, all kinds of things going on. People are always asking questions, sharing advice, answering questions on Twitter. Whether or not you have your own Twitter following, so let's assume you do have a bit of a Twitter following. Well, obviously you can send them a survey, or you can even just ask them directly a simple question right there inside of Twitter. What's your biggest question about X right now? What's the thing that you would most like to achieve in the next year as related to internet business, as related to topic X, whatever that might be? And then obviously you'll get some answers back. I love getting, because it can be very immediate. Like right now, I could put that question out on Twitter and get several responses and get some interesting insights. You could do a similar thing with a Facebook following as well. If you don't have a following on Twitter and Facebook, well, there's all kinds of Facebook pages out there about every inside of Facebook, all those interests that you put in. So like, for instance, I think on my interests, I've put like photography and videography and things like that. And there's a page automatically created on Facebook for every one of those interests that people might put in there. And then conversations go on in those pages about those topics, people asking questions, sharing insights. So these are places you can go to listen to conversations and see what people are talking about and asking about and get a sense for what that audience or market wants. Same thing in Twitter. Just go do a simple Twitter search and see what people are searching, see what kinds of questions they're asking. Whether or not they're your followers or not, these conversations are open to you to look at. What else, Sterling? What else comes to mind? Let's say you don't have a list that you can go out and survey and you were starting from scratch on something, wanted to get a sense for a market wants. Where else might you turn to go and find out what people are asking about?
Well, another thing I've done before is go to a forum in that marketing, that niche, let's say. Whatever niche it is, you can go to a forum and ask some of those questions. And I think that, there's definite keys to doing this in forums, and I believe we even talk about this in the academy as well. But forums is definitely a place I've gone to do this.
Yeah, I've noticed that when I go online, and I think I mentioned in the last episode how I've been doing some searching about DSLR cameras and videos, and so doing lots of research recently. And so I would go into Google and like type in questions like, "What's the best lens for DSLR video?" And a lot of times the answers, those questions, those same questions, and then hence the answers to those questions, Google gave me a forum. It said, oh, here's a thread in a forum about that topic. Here's where somebody asked that question. And so, I'd go and find my answer. So, I mean, it's just interesting. Yeah, forums are a place a lot of people go to ask for help, and where, a lot of people are happy to help that person and give all kinds of answers. And so, yeah, you definitely find out some really interesting things by looking at forums. And a simple Google search can get you there by saying, knitting forums, macrame forums, scuba diving forums, DSLR camera forums, those kinds of things.
Yeah. What's another one you do?
Along those same lines, actually, the other thing other than forums that kept coming up with answers for me were these Q&A sites that have been quite popular. I don't know if you've gotten any invites to this new site, or relatively new site called Quora.
No, actually,
Quora.
I haven't.
I've gotten a couple people like, oh, you've been invited to Quora. We've all heard of Yahoo Answers, and there's been other different, iterations of the same idea, but it's, these sites where you go out and you ask a question and then people answer it, and then the audience can kind of rate the different answers, and one of them gets picked as the, the best answer, the winner. And I had a lot of those popping up as I was searching for questions about, the cameras and lenses and things. People asked that question on Yahoo Answers or on Quora, and then, there was answers given. And it was really kind of cool because, in a forum, you might go and look at 6 or 7 different answers that, and everybody's got their different opinion, and you try to maybe kind of get a consensus among the answers. The cool thing about these sites is that people vote for the best answer, and so you'll see the question, then right below it, you usually see, well, here was the best answer given as voted by the community.
That's very cool.
But
yeah, I haven't seen that. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
All kinds of interesting information. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. That's just like right there. What kinds of questions are people asking? What are people saying? What are people seeing as the best answers to those questions? I mean, that's amazing feedback for any marketer or information product producer to look at. Number 4 is, if you really want to jumpstart things, is to maybe make just a simple landing page that asks that one question, that one simple question of, what's your biggest pain or question about topic X? And then use something like AdWords or Facebook ads to drive people to that question. And then if you want, you can, because these are people who don't know you, you might have to give them a bit of an incentive. Something I've seen done before is you might on that page say, hey, I'm working on a new ebook about how to learn how to play, 10 songs on the acoustic guitar fast within a week or something like that. And I want to know, well, what are your top questions about learning how to play, acoustic guitar for your friends around the fire or whatever? And then you might say, so please answer the question below and hit submit, and I will automatically add you to a list to get this ebook for free once it's done. So there's an incentive for people to answer, and then you also are kind of building up a list at the same time and giving them a reason to sign up, give you feedback, and then you can send that out to them and get some immediate feedback on the ebook itself, because here they can kind of be your early market testers of whether there's any edits or suggestions for making the ebook even better. So that one requires a bit of money, but there's that added incentive of building a list kind of while you're at it there as well.
Well, and I've done that one, and you can actually get some real quick replies on that because the moment you put that ad up and people start seeing it, they can come through very quickly.
So the final idea that we have for you, and I know this is something we've both done before, Sterling, is every once in a while we'll go to meetups. In San Diego, you went to a lot of meetups, internet business meetups. I mean, what were those like for you, especially in terms of this question of discovering what your market wants?
Well, definitely talking to somebody directly leads to probably more of an opening up and really getting to things even more than they might on, typing into a survey, or, you only have 140 characters on Twitter to write back or something like that. So, that clearly, I mean, it was probably the most time consuming, but I got a lot of great insights, and I found I actually loved talking to people about it. So for me, I got double pleasure, got the pleasure of hearing about what it is that, someone's going through when they're a beginner, and then also just chatting about internet business. So that was kind of a double good thing for me.
Yeah, it's very cool to be there in person, be able to ask follow-up questions, see their passion or their confusion on their face, have them light up when you're giving them answers. That's all very fulfilling and just hugely insightful. The trick with this internet business thing, I mean, the awesome thing about it is you get to, live wherever you want. You can do business with people all over the world. You can have all kinds of, very scalable in the number of customers that you can have. You don't have to do, work with one customer in order to get paid for an hour of time with that one customer. So all those things are great, but that also has that effect of sometimes removing you a bit from your market because everything's done digitally. So in order to maintain that connection with your market, which is very, very important, it's good to have some FaceTime. And whether that's going to meetups, whether that's going to conferences, whether that you do maybe have some clients and sitting down and really just asking lots of questions and listening, rather than, sometimes we get into client mode with clients and we're just teaching, telling, and we don't listen enough. We don't ask questions enough. Or even maybe if you just have colleagues in the market that you're working with or that who are your target market, asking them questions, listening to what they say about things. And so this, I love it as well when I have the opportunity to have FaceTime with people, whether it's at a meetup or at a conference, or even when we have those regular Q&As, we do the monthly Q&A with the Academy members where they can come in and ask us any questions. I mean, that's we hope we find that they find that very valuable to be able to come and get our immediate feedback on anything that they want. But also we find it very valuable because we're kind of keeping a thumb on the pulse of what's our market dealing with right now? What are the frustrations they're running into? Are we addressing those frustrations? Is there a need here that we need to build a solution for? So talking to your target market in person in any of those ways is number 6. If nothing else, if you don't know about conferences or you don't have clients or colleagues, if nothing else, go to meetup.com and just search for a meetup in your area related to your topic, or maybe even start a meetup in your area related to your topic. Meetup.com makes it very easy to start and run one of those or to find one of those. And that'll get you some interesting FaceTime. I mean, this is how I started my whole career as an information marketer because, and I've told this story before, where I was part of the real estate investing club there in Salt Lake City. And after just listening, at every one of these meetings, all the questions that were asked and talking to these people over and over, just all the needs started emerging and it started just coming up in my, and it was just obvious in my mind. I'm like, man, I should just hold a seminar and just teach the step-by-step answers to these questions. And so that was hugely valuable to me to have that regular interaction with the members of the real estate investing club, and in a very real way directly led to my success with my very first seminar and breaking into this whole information marketing thing, because I kept hearing over and over, people were just wondering, well, how do I find the deals? How do I market to find good deals on houses? And so what did I do? I made a seminar about exactly how to do it. And that's how I first started making money in this whole business.
Well, and that of course is how IBM came to pass as well, because that's where we met.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's 6 ways that you can discover what it is that your market wants and hence what your next product should be, or maybe even your first product should be. Number 1 is to just go to SurveyMonkey, make a survey, send that out to your list that you have. If you don't have a list, you can consider going to Twitter or Facebook and listening in on conversations. That's number 2. Number 3, you can go to forums and check out kinds of questions that people are asking, what they're talking about. Number 4, similar, you can go to Q&A sites like Yahoo Answers or Quora, which is spelled Quora. I believe that's Quora.com. Number 5, you can create a simple landing page and drive traffic to it with things like AdWords or Facebook ads to kind of start collecting a list and getting feedback on what the questions are that people have in your market. And number 6 is just to talk to your target market in person at meetups, conferences, to your clients or colleagues and things like that. So as you can see, armed with these 6 ways, I don't think there's anybody listening to this that couldn't put one of those 6 ways into action starting today even. Absolutely today. I mean, right now, finishing listening to this episode, you could sit down and Google for forums or go onto Twitter and do some searches or go to some of those Q&A sites and start searching around. And if you spend just a bit of time working with even one or just a couple of these 6 ways, you don't even necessarily have to do them all. You will instantly start seeing those ideas emerge out of your market. You'll start getting a better feel, and your confidence will go up as you make decisions about where to direct your business and what your next product should be. So absolutely start putting these 6, or at least a couple of these 6 ways into action in your own business right away.
And remember, there's a live question and answer call each month for Academy members where you can ask us anything about starting and running an internet business. If you're not a member, no problem. Just go to internetbusinessmasteryacademy.com and sign up now.
This episode's breakthrough comes again from the Academy, shared with us in the Mastermind forums, the Mastermind community forums there. This one's from Devon King, and he says, within 1 week, we were able to launch a website, complete with blogs, posted ads, and an opt-in box. We split tested our opt-in box, increased the sign-up rate by 12-fold. So far, we've had several hundred people visit our blog. Congratulations, Devon. That's awesome. I love how it sounds like some massive action, which always gets me thrilled to read about. I mean, within 1 week, getting the website launched and some blog posts up there and your opt-in box up and getting people signing up for the opt-in box and coming to your blog. Good stuff. Very, very exciting. And it's a great niche. It looks like he's into helping people who travel a lot, professionals and business people who travel a lot. Lots of tips for how to stay healthy while traveling, which is important. It's always that risk when you travel of not eating well, not sleeping well. You're around who knows how many germs inside of an airplane, so on and so forth. So I think that's a great niche as well.
I'll have to go check out his site since I'm on my way to Portland here in a couple of days.
Don't want to get sick.
See how
those dirty Portlanders.
Yeah, and also to what kind of workout I should do in my room or something.
Nice. Hey, we do have an elliptical here that you can.
Oh, that's right.
You're getting into the elliptical thing lately. So if you want to check out Devon's site, this is a little bit tricky. You can go to staying-healthy-travelpro.com. One more time, that's staying-healthy-travelpro.com. And Devon, hopefully you can register. I would recommend going and registering that same one without the hyphens if you can, just to have something easier to say on your show so that people can come and visit your site without getting confused or missing the hyphens. But we'll have a link to that in the show notes as well. But thanks again, Devon, for sharing that great breakthrough. And for those listening who are Academy members, remember, you can go into there's a special forum within the Mastermind community to share your breakthroughs each month. And that's often where we pull the breakthroughs from for the show here. You can get a mention on the show and get a little bit of extra traffic to your site as we give you a link back and a shout out here on an episode in the near future. So check that out inside the Mastermind forums, the Mastermind community inside of the Academy.
It's time for the Internet Business Quick Tip.
So this quick tip is a little bit different than our usual quick tip, but I think it's a cool one all the same. At the end of last year, we had a bit of money that we wanted to put towards some kind of cause or charity, and the thing that we chose to put it towards was Kiva.org. This one's quite popular, I think, amongst entrepreneurs and business people in general, and that is because it funds microloans for other entrepreneurs worldwide. So, what they do is you can go in there and it's really cool because you can go in and kind of even pick different areas of the world or different kind of entrepreneurs you'd like to fund, or you can look at their profiles if you want, or you can have them assign it for you if you want as well. But, it might just be $300 for somebody in Southeast Asia so that they can, start some kind of weaving business where they're going to be weaving things together. Or it might be for somebody to start a business, so they can get a few goats or whatever and be able to have, goat's milk and cheese and different things that they sell and start a business. Then obviously they can sustain themselves and others, and it enriches their community. And then they pay that money back into Kiva with some interest, and then that refunds. When I say refund, I mean it funds over again. It funds yet another person at that point once the money comes back in. So it's a very perpetual model and spreads entrepreneurship, which I think if you're listening to this show, it's something that you are interested in and believe in as a powerful way to affect the world. And so if that's something that you find meaningful and you like a place to go and donate some money, give it a try. Check out Kiva.org.
If you'd like to get dozens of resources such as this one, you can find them in the Internet Business Mastery Academy, along with video tutorials showing you exactly how we use many of them. So to get your risk-free trial membership to the Academy, go to InternetBusinessMasteryAcademy.com.
You've been listening to the iconoclasts of the 9 to 5, Sterling and Jay. Sterling and Jay invite you to discover one of their most popular video programs ever, the Online Business Freedom Formula. Visit freevideogift.com right now to get instant access to this life-changing video series, pulled directly from the acclaimed Internet Business Mastery Academy membership community. Go now to freevideogift.com. Take control. Make more money. Start an internet business today.